Following a meeting of Nigerian Governors Forum, where we deliberated on the national minimum wage, after a briefing from our representative and a tripartite committee, we submitted as follows. The welfare of all Nigerians is our ultimate concern in all over the state. We are concerned about the threatening economic situation experienced by vulnerable segment of our population. It is therefore considered position that since the percentage of salaries workers is not more than 5% of the total working population, our position must not just reflect a figure, but a sustainable strategy based on the ability and capacity to pay, as well as reflective of all developmental needs in each state. It is in this sense that we feel strongly that acceptable minimum wage must be done in a manner that the total personnel costs does not exceed 50% of the total revenue available to each state. Governors therefore agree to pay a national minimum wage of 22,500 naira only. Thank you.
What the law recognizes is individual states as an entity. The Governors Forum is a political platform that is not recognized by law. And in all the processes of negotiation of minimum wage from 1981 to date, what is recognized is submission by states. And as I've said, 21 states make submission, and figures were quoted. And therefore, going backward and forward cannot actually assist us. In most cases, the state governors will go back to their state and say they are willing to pay anything that is accepted. They will come back to Abuja, hide under the Governors Forum, political forum, and said, well, we cannot pay. And I think at this point, let every state governor go back to his state, gather his workers and pensioners, and tell them whether he's willing to pay 30,000 minimum wage or not. Going forward, I think it's very clear. I think what the federal government needs to do is not to bend forward and backward. It's to request that the report of the committee on the tripartite minimum negotiating council be submitted to Mr. President. Mr. President, in turn, should forward same to the National Assembly. If there is any issue, the public hearing can be able to address that. If any state answering its name should be able to come to the public hearing and make its position known, for or against the figure that have been accepted at the tripartite minimum wage. This is the process that is known. This is the process that will follow the rule of law, and this is the process that will deliver all of us.
Welcome back. It's now time for us to look at the minimum wage matter. Well, we had that news that Governors Forum sat and agreed that what they can pay is 22,500. There's been mixed reactions from various quarters as regards that decision. Before that, there was that figure that was put forward according to the labor leaders that it was agreed at the tripartite committee, which was set up by the president, and it was said that 30,000 naira is what they would go away with as minimum wage. But the governors have come up with their own figure. So what would be the take of all of this? Well, joining us to discuss this is the Chief Press Secretary to the Benue State Governor, Tevye Akese. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much, Newta, and I'm glad you have me here.
Oh, so Tevye, tell us, your governor was quoted at some point, I believe, as saying that the state government will be willing to pay 30,000 naira. So what's with the switch down to 22,500?
I'm surprised that the governor has quoted. As you are aware, the governor himself is on leave, and the acting governor, Engineer Benson Abono, has been doing a great job. And just yesterday, he was part of that meeting that you listened to the chairman of the Nigerian Governors Forum make the position of the forum very clear to Nigerians. Let me first of all join Mr. Chairman to appreciate Nigerian workers, the workers of Benue State in particular, for their understanding, for showing great support to the government of this state. Since 2015, Governor Otom has brought them on board. They are part of what comes in and what goes out in terms of the incomes and expenditures of government, especially as it affects their welfare, their wages. And so they appreciate our position. The matter here is that governors have said, look, realistically, we cannot, many states of this nation will not be able to pay the said amount of 30,000. This is a matter that we have to look at it without sentiments, without emotions. And so if the governors have now come out to say that, okay, we also know that workers of this country deserve a better deal. So we are putting on the table 22,500 naira as minimum wage for states. And we should look into this matter, being realistic to ourselves. Workers are part of government. They are part of the state. And they also would want to see government develop other sectors like education,